Okay, so this is our first of two group coaching calls for the month of May. And this time we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. So today we're going to focus on messaging, on your messaging, okay? And I want you to have pen and paper, and we're going to do some writing today so you can get some clarity. And really, the reason I'm starting with this is because this is really the core of who you are, what you stand for, and what you're going to be communicating to your ideal clients, right? Or prospects. So today we're really going to focus on what do you stand for? What do you want for others, right? Like what, so it's not just about you, but it's also like, what is it that you see in the world that is a problem that you have a potential solution for, right? Like, what do you want others to experience? What do you want them to have that you can help them with? And then the third is, how can you help them, right? So we're going to answer those questions today. And then when you're really clear about, you know, who you are, what you stand for, and how you help people, your promise, then we'll go into more of the like, who are you as the, you know, the next one we'll do is your strengths and kind of like what makes you unique and sets you apart on our next call. And then we'll do, third will be your avatar. So who is your target audience? You know, so you know what their problems are, you know, how you can help them, right? Like how your solution fits in with their life and how you can help them. Then we'll look at your offer. So what are you offering them? What is your solution, right? And we'll build that out and pricing your offer and, you know, looking at, and you will likely have multiple offers, right? And then creating your lead magnet. So this is how they're going to first opt in with you, right? This is going to be something that they perceive as a high value, free offer for them. It could be in the form of a PDF. It could be an audio. It could be, you know, an ebook, a webinar, you know, anything. And turn off my phone there. And this is how they get their first touch, their first taste of you, right? They get to see who you are, what you have to offer, and if it's something that they feel like is a good fit for them. And then they'll take that next step if it is. And so then that leads us to your funnel. So that'll be our sixth call that I have planned out, which is how you take them from step one with your free opt-in, your lead magnet, all the way to the sale, right? Like, what does that funnel look like? And it'll be different for each of you. And this is what I love about business building and about the uniqueness of each person here and your offers, is that they're going to look different. They're for each of us. And I want you to really get clear about what excites you, what works for you with the time that you have to spend, the energy that you have, how you work best, you know, like do you like to speak? Do you like to write? Do you like to be live in person? Do you like to, you know, like what are the different ways? And then how you can connect best with your particular audience, because they like to receive information a certain way and they're looking for certain things from you, and that's going to look different. So we're going to get really clear about all of these things over the next 6 months. This is what we're going to focus on. And when you have these really clear, you're going to have such a solid foundation for your business. And what I realize is that you know, we've kind of been haphazard going at it. We've kind of been like focusing on things and what are you going to do right now? But there's not really like a strategic plan, right, in place. And so I feel like having these foundational pieces, it's going to set you up and then for that strategic plan so that you can really monetize the way that you want to and have the impact that you want to have in your business. Okay. So I really think this is going to help with that. And I'm really excited about it, actually. This is stuff I love to do. So, okay. Are there any questions before we jump in? Is it clear what we're doing? Does anybody have any questions? You can raise your hand. You can type it in. No? Okay. All right. So get out your pen and your paper. We're going to brainstorm. So this is just going to be about free-flowing. You know, I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to write whatever comes up for you in a free-flow form and journal about it, okay? So, okay. Now, this process is to help kind of get you thinking about things, and you don't have to answer all of them completely, and not every single one is going to necessarily give you the information you're actually going to use. It's just like a creative process. Some of them will give you exactly what you need, you know, some of the questions, and I don't know which ones those are going to be for you. So we're just going to go through a creative process, okay? All right, so the first question, this is about why you do what you do. So, okay, so what do you care about passionately? Like, what are you passionate about? What do you really care about in the world? What do you take a stand for? You know, just write down anything that comes to your mind.
What's the question again?
What do you care about passionately? What are you passionate about? What do you care about? What do you take a stand for in the world? And then a follow-up to that is why. Why does that matter to you? Why are you passionate about it? And I'll type these in the chat box too. And then I'll do the next one. So if you get ahead, you can keep going, okay? Hi, I'm Justine. Sorry. So the next question is, what drives you crazy? And you could think about it in the realm of, like, you know, you guys each have sort of your topic areas, you know? So you could relate it to that if you wanted to. Like, Jen, in the realm of, parenting or relationships or, like that. And like with Amy, in the realm of health or parenting also, or, anything like that. Like, what are some things that drive you crazy that you see or that you hear or that, that you're like, ah. And Kat, if you're listening also, in the realm of community building or lifestyle, things like that. So the next one is, what keeps coming up when talking with clients or people about your business? So like, what are some of the recurring themes? What are topics? What are things that come up over and over again? So if you had 30 seconds to share with your ideal clients, what would you want them to know? 30 seconds. Okay, so next question is, what is the number one way you see that would cause transformation for your client? So if you can see that, you know, they have something that you can help them with, what is the thing, the number one thing you see that could cause transformation for them? So if you've got all that figured out, then the next question is, what's missing from the approach your clients are taking? So, what's not working, or what is the conventional wisdom that is being taught, right? That's not working for your clients. And I want you to look at what's missing. What's a different approach that they could take, um, that could help them achieve what they want. Okay, so then what's the key solution you provide? So this is the what now that we're talking about. What's the key solution that you provide? And here's where I want you to have the clarity, because the more specific you can get about um, solutions and outcomes, the easier it's going to be to find your ideal clients and to speak to them in language that they get and that they understand, that you have something that they need, right? And so it's an easier yes to work with you. So, what's the key solution you provide? And then, um, so let's see. So, the next question is, what results do you help them achieve? And this is different than the solution you provide. So, for instance, with Amy, like let's say your the solution you provide is creating a workout schedule and eating, schedule that feels easy and doable and is, that's manageable, right? Like you provide the solution. That's what you're creating for them, and the results you help them get is, you help them lose weight, you help them feel better in their bodies, you help them you help their skin look better, you help, right, like these really tangible results that you help them achieve. And then the big transformation that you help them create is the next one. So these are going to be three different things. And the big transformation that you help them achieve really, for Amy again, could be that they feel better about themselves. They feel their self-esteem goes up, their confidence, they feel sexier, they have a better sex life with their husband. They're more connected with their husband. They are easily able to attract clients because they feel better about themselves. They are able to get a job, that they want, or whatever it may be, right? Like, so this could be, their life could completely transform as a result of them focusing on this one area. Same thing with Jen. So the solution you may provide is how to, communicate better with your teenager, right? And then the results you help them get are a closer connection, a more close connection with their child. And the transformation could be that they are, the whole family is feels really connected and close, and they, like, maybe now the transformation is that their teenager is a whole different person because she feels safe talking with her mom, and can talk about anything, and she feels heard and validated and accepted and loved no matter what. And so now she's free to be who she wants to be, and she, blah, 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 right? So, like, these are some of the transformations that can occur, and it's not just about your client, it's about what is the potential impact on their life as a result of having this thing that you can help them achieve, right? So I want you to think about it in that bigger sense, of what's possible for their life. And then the final question is, why do you do what you do? So why do you do this? Kat, I just saw your message. Yes, that's what we're doing, is answering the questions above. Write it down on paper, and then right now we're going to go over it. So we'll discuss it for each of you guys, you ladies, okay? Okay, so who needs more time? Raise your hand if you need more time. No one? Okay, I'm sure Kat does. But Kat, we'll just get started and you can kind of play along with us, okay? So we'll let you go third. So to give you time to answer each question, you can just do them one at a time.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I'm going to work on my questions. Hi, ladies. Okay.
But they're waving at you. So yeah, go ahead and work on your questions and we'll just check in as we go. Cool. So, all right, so let's do this, and feel free to just unmute yourselves when you want to talk, but let's go through the questions and let's see what you came up with, and let's see how clear you are, or if there's work to do together, because this will be our time to do that work together. So who wants to go first? Just unmute yourself if you want to go first.
I can go first.
Okay.
You're well. I feel like Owen's going to wake up any minute now.
Okay.
What did you want? Just in general, or the first question?
Yeah, so I guess the way we could do it is like share with me what came up for you, like where you're clear. And then if there's any areas where you're not clear and you kind of want some help, let's just do that. Because I want you to come away with a clear message of like what you stand for, who you serve, how you serve them, right?
Yeah, so I feel like I've been thinking about this since you posted like that first post about what this one was going to be about, like whatever, trying to get clear on that. So I have, I do feel like I'm getting clarity about the people that I like working with the most, and that like I connect with are definitely moms. So, I mean, I've always had just women in my groups, but most of them now are also moms, which I do like. And I feel like it's definitely a time in your life where you forget about you a lot of the times. And I think so for me, it's like trying to make them understand like they deserve to take the time on themselves and spend the money, which that's like something that always comes up, is they don't feel like they have the time or money to spend on themselves. And the biggest thing that I've always tried to work on is having them, people have like a healthy mindset around, you know, the eating and the exercising and just feeling good about themselves. And now with this new program, it's like I feel like I can do it in a much easier way. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's kind of all coming together, where that's really going to be like the way I'm talking about everything now is through like the healthy mindset around nutrition and exercise and the numbers on the scale and their body, that kind of thing.
Okay. So the first part, the moms deserve to spend time on themselves and make money.
Why do they deserve to spend time on themselves? Yeah, because they spend time on everything else. And definitely, like, I mean, I know with me, if I'm taking care of me, I'm a much happier and nicer mom, wife, daughter, everything. So I want them to know that.
Okay. So they deserve to spend time on themselves and money so that they can be happier, nicer moms, wives, people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you guys to really think about benefits to people, right? I mean, people conceptually can get the idea of like, yeah, you know, I should spend money on myself. I should spend time, but they don't do it. Why don't they do it? Well, we need to appeal to the, you know, really to their heart, right? We need to really appeal to what are the benefits of them doing that, and not just in a conceptual way, but more like you know, you being able to speak to that from your own experience about, you know, like, I know when I am taking good care of myself that I'm so much more patient with my kids. I'm happier. I'm a, you know, more connected wife. And that benefits my whole family. You know, like like we're all good because I take care of myself. And I notice when I don't do that, I'm grumpy, I'm this, I'm that, the kids cry more, blah, 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 right? Like, my husband's more stressed, you know, whatever the case may be. So to be able to share your story in a way that they can go, oh yeah, like they see themselves in that, right? Like they go, oh yeah, me too. Like I know that the times when I have done those things for myself, few and far between, like it's felt good. So you're just sort of reminding them of, you know, for some of them of what they already know.
Yep. Right.
But for some people, they just like have beliefs that block them from even thinking they deserve to do things for themselves, right? So they're, you know, you could be addressing that too. Like, what are some of the beliefs that get in the way of taking good care of yourself, you know, and just call those out. Like, what are some of the things that you've seen? Like when you talk to women, like what are they saying, you know, that keeps coming up that you could actually address in your messaging, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you talk about a healthy mindset around nutrition and exercise, okay, so now I want you to get more specific with that. You know, what is the unique angle that you bring to it? What is the thing that's been missing about, you know, the way that they have used, you know, the way your clients view that, or the way that they've been taught that, you know, or how other people talk about it. Like, what did you answer for that?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. So like, what is the question in there that was like, what is the missing piece to the approach your clients are taking? Or what is the unique spin or the unique thing that you bring to this topic?
Yeah. So yeah, I said so they're missing the healthy mindset around relationship with food and exercise. So I feel like with the food, it's like people are taught like you have to be on a diet. You need to like restrict yourself. These foods are good. These foods are bad. You know, I'm cheating if I'm having a cookie instead of I'm enjoying having a cookie. Or like with exercise, I feel like people a lot of times exercise because they feel like they ate bad. And like the flipping it is like I want them to be exercising like to feel good or like for a stress relief. And then with the scale, I feel like, I mean, I've said it in the past. I just put a post about this the other day. Like I've said in the past, like the scale doesn't matter or throw out the scale. But like really it's trying now I'm trying to have people see it's really just a number and it's a tool to assess how your body's doing, and not have that like emotional attachment to it that we all really.
What I hear you saying is with the nutrition piece, the angle or the thing that goes against the conventional wisdom, right, is like there's this idea that food is good or bad, right? And so you're saying food is not good or bad. It's kind of taking away the stigma. It's kind of taking away the, you know, the viewpoint that food is either good or bad, and that it's really about what though? What is the alternative, or what is the viewpoint that you take that?
Yeah, it more about like eating to feel good, and even if you're, you know, you're kind of treating yourself once in a while, that's okay. It's just like you're treating yourself. It's not, you're like, you don't have to beat yourself up if you're not.
So it's taking away the judgment,
Yeah,
around how you eat, right? Around food choices or around eating. And so so that's do you see how that's like a unique angle that you would bring to it? That it's like, rather than beating yourself up and judging yourself for how you're eating, you know, for foods that you're eating, what if you could do this instead, right? And so there's your unique angle, your solution, that you bring a new perspective that you bring for them to consider, right? So what would that be? Like, let's say, you know, let's just have a couple of talking points, right? So like, if you were to say, what if you did this instead? What's the this that they could do instead of like beating themselves up and judging themselves?
So like, say they have like a cookie or something. So, you know, instead of beating yourself up for having a few cookies, you could enjoy the few cookies and move on. Or the new program too, it's a lot about tracking, just to be aware of what you're doing. So there's a lot of awareness around food choices. So it's sort of like, it's trying to take the judgment out of it too, where you're you know, so have the cookie, write it down, and then, you know, you enjoyed it, and then just move on, but write it down.
So it sounds to me like you're saying, create awareness around, you know, and then make a choice, right? Like choose, and then feel good about your choice. So whether it's, you know, I'm choosing to eat a cookie right now, and I'm going to enjoy the cookie, and then I'm going to make a new choice next time, you know, that for lunch I'm going to have a salad, and I'm going to feel good about that, right? And so it's like, it's really about creating awareness around your choices and then feeling good about your choice because you are in choice, right? It's not like, you know, it's not from a place of guilt or default, you know, because you weren't aware, you just like reacted, right? So like you're helping people create new awareness and new patterns around choosing and feeling good about their choices, right? So you're shifting the conversation. Okay, and then around the exercise, I hear you saying that rather than it being about losing weight or, you know, measuring yourself on a scale, it's really about feeling good. It's about releasing stress, and it's really about mental and emotional health, right? Mental health and emotional well-being. And so I want you to speak to that more, right? I want you to speak to, you know, because really for me, like I exercise, I mean, me looking good is the icing on the cake, but the thing that keeps me doing it is the way I feel, like how it has me feel. If it was just for like me looking good, like I'm not that vain, you know what I mean? Like that's not going to keep me going to the gym. It really won't. And I suspect that's probably true for a lot of women. And so speaking to the idea that, you know, actually working out is for our mental and emotional health and well-being, right? And that this is how we can release stress. And, you know, you could talk about the oxytocin, and you could talk about the adrenaline, and you could talk about all of these different hormones that actually benefit us. Like when we work out, we release these hormones, and they make us more loving parents, and they make us more loving wives, and they make us like feel good in our own skin. Like they make us just feel more loving and connected, right? And so like speaking, I think that your unique angle is really going to be about a self-love approach. It's going to be about a, you know, a mental and emotional health standpoint, right? And loving ourselves through all of our choices, feeling good in our bodies, being more connected as parents and wives as a result of our choices, and, you know, releasing judgment on ourselves. So Okay, so how does all of that?
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of what you're saying, like some of the words I wrote down, like to answer some of the questions, like I feel like I was writing like connected a lot in the mental, emotional, like physically, like feeling good physically, emotionally, and mentally. I feel like I was like writing that.
Okay, Jen B, she's got to go. So, okay, well, yeah, please dig deeper, post in the group because I want to hear what you came up with and I'd like to give you some feedback on that. Okay, Jen? So, awesome. Okay, so
I will. Thank you.
That was the other thing. What's that?
I said, I will. I'll post in the group. So thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too, guys. Bye.
Bye. And the other thing that Amy just did that I want to mention is look for the recurring themes in what you wrote. Like, look for those words that keep coming up, right? Because that's your message. Those are the things that you're going to talk about. You know, that's what you're about, right? So, okay, so what else? What really like drives you? Like, why do you care about this, Amy? And why do you care about helping people really with their healthy mindset?
Yeah, so for like that was like the last part, right? I like, it hurts me when I see people who are like hurting, and I feel like as moms I see it just way more of you can just tell they feel super uncomfortable and they're not happy like with themselves, and that makes me upset like when I see that, because I know they could be. I know if they were spending time on themselves and, you know, doing some of those things and making some of those like mental shifts, that they would feel good about themselves. And I do think I can help them do that and get them surrounded by the same kind of people. Yeah.
Good. So, hold on. I'm writing notes. Okay, good. So it's really about like you're drawn to people you see who are not happy with themselves, and it makes you sad, or it just, you know, makes you feel bad because you want them to be happy, and you know that if they spent time on themselves and they made mental shifts and they surrounded themselves with like-minded people, that they could be happy with themselves, right? So, and you feel like you could provide that for them. So I want you to, so those three things, the spending time on themselves, making mental shifts, and surrounding with like-minded people, those are like the ways you help them, right? Like those are your categories, your buckets, whatever you want to call them. And within those is like in your groups, you provide the surrounding with like-minded people in the community and the support. And then you show them how to spend time on themselves in a way that isn't overwhelming, right? Like doable, you know, ways of working out and meal planning and things like that. And then the other piece, so I would see that more as the tactical, you know, the spending time on self, like you're going to actually show them how to do that in a way that's sustainable. So that's more like tactical and creating the container for themselves. And then making the mental shifts is really the mindset stuff, right? Like that's the feel good, like, you know, mental, emotional kind of stuff. And then the third piece is the community, is the having the support, right? So that is, so if you were to look at it that way, do you see how you could talk about what you do and what you provide in a way that would really resonate for people that feel like they're not happy and they want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, let's see, is there anything else? You know, do you feel clear? Do you feel like you need to tweak anything?
No, this feels, I I think slowly over the years, I've like started to get more, like at the beginning, I feel like I was just trying to talk to everybody. And because I didn't want to, my thinking was like, I didn't want to exclude anybody. So I didn't want to say, you know, woman, because I didn't want to exclude the men who might need help, or like, then more recently, like I didn't want to say moms because I didn't want to exclude people who, you know, like wanted to be moms but weren't. But I think it's better kind of talking exactly to the people I'm talking to would make more sense.
So, yes, and it's funny because, you know, that's so common. Like, most of us start off wanting to save the world. We don't want to limit ourselves. We don't want to limit who we can work with. You know, we don't want to talk about it in that way. And the reality is that the more defined we get, the more we know who our target client is and the people that we love to work with and that we can really be effective in helping them. The easier it's going to be to attract them, the easier it's going to be to help people make a difference, make money, like all of that. And the reality is, like, other people will still find us. You know what I mean? Like, I've played in the mom space and the multi-passionate mom space, and I still have clients who are not moms, and, you know, and I attract people that are not moms still, you know, not as much, but you know, I still do. So, and I had the same thing, believe me. In the beginning, I was like, oh gosh, no, I'm not choosing. No way. Okay, and then the last question. Well, I think we've kind of covered it all. So
yeah, that's really helpful.
Okay, good. Okay, so I want you to take that. I want you to look at what's the next step for you in terms of this messaging. What can you do with it, and start putting it out there. And I mean, this is going to come into play like once we do all this other stuff with your avatar, like you're already working on who your ideal client is. And then just looking at, you know, your own personal strengths and what you bring to it and all of that. And then we look at kind of your funnel and creating the whole thing. Like, it's all going to come together, but I think you could take the messaging now and start playing with it and putting it out there, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Kat, are you ready? There she is.
Okay.
Alrighty. So now this whole thing is just for you to get clear on what your message is, what you stand for, right? How you help people. So what did you choose to focus on?
Well, I'm sorry, what did I choose? What was that? I'm sorry.
To focus on. What did you choose to focus on? Because I know you have like multiple things, you know, but.
Yeah, I went, I mean, I kind of answered sort of across the board. I don't know if I should get more specific.
Yes.
I don't know. I'll just kind of go down the list and see what comes up. Okay. So let me pull up the questions here. What do I care about passionately? I just put community, being of service, unique, one of a kind goods. And then I put being financially healthy and bringing home a paycheck.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the first question.
Okay. So of those, which one like lights you up, excites you, like compels you?
Honestly, at this point, bringing home a paycheck is what is necessary at this point. You know, I've been giving away my free time for years. I've been so caring and so giving, but I'm done with all that. I'm going to keep doing it because I've been doing it. It's known. Now I need to bring home a paycheck.
Okay. So this is great. So here's where, in order to bring home that paycheck, Kat, you got to stand for something. So I see you as a community builder. Like, I see that as your passion. I see that you're a go-to person for that, right? Like, people are coming to you and wanting you to create these events and, do community building stuff, right?
Okay.
So is this something that you would be willing to create an income stream around?
Yes, and it's already happening.
Awesome. Does it excite you?
Totally. I'm so stoked. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Okay, yay. All right. So ding ding ding, we have a
But it's just starting.
Yeah, good.
So now I need to, not to get off the subject, I'm sorry. I haven't caught up with you in a bit. So now, in order to achieve the be of service, be a community builder, but bring home a paycheck, I have to do it right from the start.
So where we're going to start right now is with your messaging, okay? So why do you care about community or community building?
Why do I care? I don't know. I want to be able to I want to be able to support local businesses and local artists by being a hub for that, which I already am. A representative of the local artists who make unique goods, businesses like me, where they can come in and find something unique, and it also supports the local artists I have in the store.
So why is community building important?
I don't know. I like creating the space that brings people together to purchase these things.
Okay, and what is it about creating the space that you like?
The experience.
What do you mean? Say more.
The experience of coming together, being exposed to things that are really unique, making people feel connected, they participate, they purchase, and they are in turn giving back to their community by supporting all these local artists and myself by buying stuff.
Okay.
Which supports us.
Okay. So I hear you saying that you like creating the experience of people coming together, being exposed to unique things, and buying things, which then gives back to the community and supports people, their livelihood, basically.
Yes. And then they also can enjoy the community as well. Enjoy each other.
Okay. And why is that important, that people come together in community to enjoy each other?
I don't know. It creates a sense of community and belonging, and I don't know. It just feels like a win-win. People like doing that stuff.
So people feel a sense of belonging. That's a big one, right? I mean, everybody wants to belong.
And it creates a culture which supports, which is I don't know. I think people in Long Beach look for that, or they move to Long Beach for community culture.
Yeah. Yep. And so So let's talk about some of the benefits, like what people get from being part of a supportive culture like that, a community culture. Is you already said they get, it's like their livelihood, like people make money and people get to give back. What else do they get from being part of this culture? Like and a sense of belonging. I think that was a huge one that you said. I think you hit on it really hard right there, like the sense of belonging. Yeah, Amy even said belonging is huge, right? So you're creating this, and you know what, Kat, I have to say, knowing you very well, is that one of your strengths and what you bring is that you're such a loving person. Like people feel so welcome in your presence. You know, someone comes into your shop and it's this immediate like hug, you know, like this immediate like embrace.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that is like, you know, that is such a gift that you have, because people want to feel welcome and they want to feel part of something, right? And they want to feel accepted, and you make people feel that way. So I want you to write that down. I want you to remember that when we get into the part where we're talking about your personal strengths and your brand and what makes you unique. I want you to remember that and put that as part of what you're creating and who you're being, and why people are attracted to you being the community builder, right? Like that's what you're doing. So
thank you. That's nice.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, because you're too close to it. You can't see it, you know, like we can see it. So you need people to witness for you what is happening in the space, right? What's
okay.
And you're like an integral part of that, of creating that. So.
Okay. Even in my events, like in a bigger setting, not just like walking in my doors.
Well, I haven't been to one of your events, but I can truly say that knowing who you are as a person, that's just how you are. Like when you show up on this call, you're like, hey, everyone. And, you know, you're just, it's like this loving presence of acceptance and, you know, and that's just who you are. So you're always going to bring that no matter what, you know, to your events, big events, small events, the community that you're bringing together, you know, vendors, people that are going to be attracted to your events are going to be because that's what you're exuding. And in fact, you know, that is, you can use that in your messaging and in how you lead in creating your events, is that it's about creating a sense of belonging. It's about creating a sense of community where people feel like they belong, where they feel like they can be accepted for who they are, and they can be, you know, welcomed with open arms, right?
Oh, I like that.
To be part of a community like that, you know? And so that's what you're going to speak to when, as you're in your branding and as you're creating events and, you know, on your website or wherever in your marketing. I really want you to speak to that, because that's, you know, really embodies who you are and what you're about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so so going back to some of these questions, what keeps coming up when you talk with clients about your business, or you talk with other makers, or, you know, things like that? Like, what are some of the topics or themes or just things that come up over and over again?
I don't know. I got kind of stuck on this question. What keeps coming up? What keeps coming up when talking with clients about the business? I don't know. I mean, the fact that I'm not here full time, or, I mean, I don't know if that answers the question.
What are some themes, or, you know, like when you're talking with people about creating events, right? When you're talking about people about community building, creating events, coming together as a community, you know, highlighting people's stuff. What are some of the topics or challenges, or, you know, just things that you keep hearing in your space, like in the space of that? Are there certain things that, you know, keep showing up?
I mean, the only thing that really I can think of is, people love the events. They want more of it.
Mm-hmm.
They want more. They want more. I feel like they want more inventory in my store, but I don't have the cash flow. And obviously I'm not going to tell them that. But, they, I don't know.
What do people love? When they're saying they love it, are they sharing with you what they love about it?
People love walking in. They feel like it is very welcoming, and they feel like, oh, this is so welcoming and homey and whatnot, and they like the events. And I think that's really it. They love it, and I want to give more and I want to do more, but number one, I'm not here. Number two, I don't have the cash flow outside of my events. On the days that I don't have anything going on, I don't have enough sales. I can't provide all that stuff without cash flow.
Right. So let's think of other ways you can get cash flow in than just the store, right? So like if we're to look at, these community events, right? Like you leading events or doing consulting, could those potentially be sources of income that could supplement the store, right? Until you do have that. So you can get that cash flow, so you can have more makers, so you can, have more inventory, right? You just see how approaching it from a different angle versus like when you're sitting in the problem, right? Which is like, I don't have enough cash flow. How do I increase sales? It's kind of like this catch-22, right? And you're just like, how do I get out of this?
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So you're approaching it from where the level of where the problem is, and you're never going to get out of it approaching it from that level. So what if you looked at saying, okay, what are some other income streams I could generate right now based on my skill sets, which is like this community building, right? Like as a community builder, event planner, consultant, whatever, right? And let's look at that and where the opportunities are to generate income from those, because that's naturally going to benefit your business. Right? So how does that sound if we focus on that?
Well, I think so. I think that's the solution. One of the solution, which has really manifested even since the last time I talked to you. So yeah, I have my next big project on June 6th that they're paying me to do, and they're allowing me to take all of the vendor fees.
Awesome.
So, and this is now the second one. I did the first one where they gave me a portion of the fee 3 weeks ago at the Taste of Downtown, Long Beach. I took a small little percentage that I negotiated, and that's why I'm still here. That's why I haven't left. One of the two reasons I haven't left California, by the way, I'm still here. So that was the first paid, and now I have a second one on June 6th. So
good.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I want you to focus on, okay? These are two things. So I want you to think about the problem and solution in the industry. So, and I want you to think of it from two levels. I want you to think of it from the vendor or maker, right? So what is the problem in the industry that the vendors are experiencing that you may have a solution for? And then what is the problem that the consumers in the industry are having that you may have a solution for in terms of the community building, right? Like, because our emphasis now is on community building, the events, things like that. So I want you to identify the problem solution for makers and the problem solution for consumers in your communities, in your industry, okay? Does that make sense?
Okay. I think so, yes.
Okay. So this is where the money is, girlfriend. Okay. Let me just tell you, if you can hit the nail on the head with what the problem is in the industry, in your community, in your local community, with the makers and the consumers, and you can create a solution, and it might be one solution and it might be two, right? Like it might be that there's one solution for both problems, or it may be that it's two different solutions. But if you can create that solution and provide that, bam, now you're in the money. That's where the money is. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so
I think I just have to figure out what those...
Let's brainstorm. We have 6 minutes left. Let's brainstorm, okay? So if you had to identify what you think the problem is with the makers or vendors in your community, like what is it that they really need or want that they're not getting? What is it that is keeping them from making money? Or what is it that's keeping them from connecting with other people? Or, what is it? What's the problem that you would identify in your industry?
Well, they definitely want to get in front of more customers because that equals sales.
Okay.
So, having a good event expectancy is going to add the value because they want to get in front of people.
Okay.
Which they want to get in front of the right audience or the right customers who are a fit for what they're selling.
Okay.
Customers, and then the price of the booths.
So,
because now
there's two ways to think about this, like on a macro level and a micro level, right? So the macro level would be like, what is their problem? You've just identified it. You're like, they need to make more sales, right? Like that's one of the problems, is that they need to make more sales. So the micro level would be like looking at events in particular. Okay, so if you were to say at events, what is the problem? Then that would be like the booths, the whatever. So that's good. I want you to look at it from two levels, like a bigger picture, the micro level of like, they all have the same thing, that they need to make more sales and get in front of the right customers. And then you can relate it exactly to your events, because the reason I'm saying this is because I want you to look at it from the standpoint of the events actually being the solution to their problem, right? So if their problem is getting more sales and getting in front of the right people, then the solution is that they come to this event where you're going to provide, the right people for them to get in front of so that they can make more sales. So that's why they need to come to your event, right? And and then you want to look at it from the level of, okay, at the particular event, what are the biggest issues, or what are the problems that come up for vendors? And then, then you address that, because that's what's going to make your event stand out. That's what's going to make you have a name for yourself in the industry. When you're able to address the problems that people are having, you're going to set yourself apart from everybody else, and everybody's going to want to be part of your events because you're already addressing these things. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, that makes sense. Macro and the micro. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then do the same thing for the consumer, right? So like, there's people that are your target customer. What is their problem? Like, what is the problem that they're having? Okay. And so that would be not only just for yours, but other makers in your industry, other retail shops and makers, like, what is the problem that the consumer has that they could meet the need for, right? So is it that, there's not enough inventory, not enough choices, the convenience factor, the price factor, that, like, what what are challenges that consumers are facing that you could potentially, or maybe there's not enough options in one place. So like if you created an event where there's like-minded vendors, right, where there's like options in specific areas. So let's say, there's enough jewelry options, and then there's enough clothing options for a particular style or whatever that they have all in one place. That could be a solution to the problem of they have to go to like all these different stores, and they don't have time to go to all these different stores because they're busy moms or they're whatever, right?
Right.
So just thinking about, your customers and what is the problem that they have that prevents them from actually spending more money with you. And then thinking of the solution on also, again, a macro and micro level. So what would the solution be? Because the solution could relate to your store and how you do things, and it could also relate to your events and how you run them or what you provide. Does that make sense?
Okay, that's interesting.
What's interesting about it?
I mean, I've never really pinpointed it, even though I know it up here.
Yeah.
I've never really identified what the problem was.
Okay, so that's your homework.
Yeah, so that's good.
Awesome. So will you identify it and then post it in the group so that
Okay.
we can see what you come up with, and maybe like offer some ideas or suggestions or just even feedback?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And then I want you to start thinking about your messages that we talked about in the beginning, about a sense of belonging, a supportive community, where you feel welcome and at home. For you, Kat, I think it's going to really be about how you make people feel, how the space makes people feel, how the environment that you create makes people feel, right? It's a feeling that they get by being in your presence, in your space, at your events, right? And so I want you to focus on that feeling that you want them to experience, and lead with that.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay?
And the feeling.
Yeah. That's gold right there, because it's all about how people want to feel. And I think you uncovered that when you broke down why it's important to you. You really uncovered that it's about
Sorry.
that it's really about how people feel.
I'm gonna call. You mind? See? Look. I know. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. My mom. Okay. Got it.
So I want you to focus on that in your messaging and in the design, and then post your problem solution. And if there's more than one or two, just post all of them, whatever comes to mind, so that we can see, and then maybe give you some like input with that on what you're kind of creating. But I think this is going to really, really help you stand out and make these, set yourself apart from anybody else, be sought after if we're doing this.
Yeah, I think so. I just have to not lose sight of what's happening in the store.
Yeah, right. So let's talk about this on our call.
Okay.
Because I would like you to now I want you to strategize around monetizing this and sort of what it's going to take, like the time commitment, energy commitment, what it looks like, how many events you would want to do in a year, or how many clients you want to have, things like that. Like really start breaking it down so that you can, so you know what to focus on.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I have to run. My son is sick, and I have to go pick him up.
Okay.
So
I will schedule. I got to go on your website and schedule our call.
yes, do that.
Yeah, this is
rolling. I'm excited for this direction for you, Kat.
Oh yeah. There's Yeah, there's a lot of, there's some more updates I have to give you anyways, so it's very exciting. I'm even more excited.
Hey. Okay, awesome. All right, ladies, so the next step is take your messaging. I want you to start crafting some messages that you can put out to your people and send them to me. And I'd love it if you would actually post them in the group so other people can see, and I can give feedback on your messaging in there so we can get really solid messaging, okay?
Can you just clarify real quickly what kind of messaging are you referring to? Are you referring to like mission statement, the branding, the voice, all of it?
All of it, because this is who you are, what you stand for, and what you're creating and how you help people, right? So all of those things together create your message, and it's all part of your brand, it's part of your mission, it's part of your your mission statement, your purpose, all of that. And then what you're talking about, like on social media and with prospective clients, all of that, it's going to be in your messaging. So when you have a unified message and you're out there saying, oh, I'm so excited, I'm creating this event, and we have such great vendors, and the thing that people say is they feel so welcome at these events, like they just love the feeling and they want more of it, and I'm so excited to keep creating that for this community, and so it's like you're going to use the language and stuff that we came up with today in how you talk about what you're creating.
Okay, wow, I've never wrote the messaging down before, so this is all really good.
Yes, it's huge. It's huge. I'm so excited for you that these are like foundational, and you're going to see it's going to make a big difference.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, awesome. So you're welcome, Amy, and you ladies have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Post it.
Thank you. Bye.